Hi again. So we're at 4.OA.3. 4.OA.3 is multi-step problems, and 4.OA.3 also can be what we call situational remainders. So you do all this math, your last step is division, and you're left over with a remainder. The remainder can affect the problem by having the need to round up. Situations where you have a group of people, you're ordering buses, you have 2 people left over, you're not going to be like, we're going to put in names in a hat, draw it out. Sorry, 2 people, you're not going to get to go, you are not a bus. So in a situation where the remainder, you have a remainder, and it's not enough, then you need to increase your whole number quotient by 1. Sometimes your remainder will be your answer choice itself. Sometimes it'll have no influence whatsoever on the problem. So there's a lot to think about when we're working with any word problems in 4th grade. But multi-step problems, there's a lot of moving pieces. And I like to tell the kids, if you're doing one thing to solve any problem, you need to make sure, be very, very comfortable that it is one thing. There's not a lot of things that we do or math that we do in 4th grade that is simple, straightforward, to the point. There's usually work or something that you have to do. So let's get into the word problem. This one says, Heather bought 4 packages of dog treats for her 3 dogs. Excuse me. There are 10 treats in each package. She splits the treats into 3 treat jars. How many treats are left over? So when we have a word problem, I want the kids to read it first, and then we think about, okay, what do we know? What are the key words? In 4th grade, sometimes it's phrases and the way things are that are structured that are going to help you more than just looking for, does it say multiply? Or do we have sum? Or do we have product? They're going to be problems that you're going to have to analyze and think about a little bit to figure out what's actually going on. So a great way to do that is start line by line, figure out what you got. So Heather bought 4 packages of dog treats for her 3 dogs. Okay. Sometimes drawing pictures helps too, or just figure out what's going on. So we got Heather, and she has 4 packages of dog treats, okay? And then she's got 3 dogs. I'm not an artist, so we're just going to do D for dogs. So there's Heather, 4 packages, 3 dogs, okay? I don't have a total except for the amount of dogs that she has. I don't know how many treats she has, so we keep going, okay? So there are 10 treats in each package. Well, right away I hear each. When we hear each, we know we're talking about groups, which makes sense because we're talking about packages. And typically in packages, you're going to have multiple items. So each bag has 10 treats. So in this, there's 10, in this, in this, and in this. Okay? She splits the treats into 3 treat jars. So if you're splitting something, you're not putting things together, you're actually taking them apart, okay? So it could be subtraction, it could be division, but we know we're not adding anything. And then we get to the question, how many treats are left over? So usually when we see leftover, it could be subtraction, but we are working with each in the problem. So if we think about coming up with this total, and then they're going to put the treats into each one of these jars. So that is more division than it is subtracting. They're not giving 3 treats to this dog and 2 treats to this dog, or she's not taking 10 out to give them to the dogs right now. She's putting them into the jars. This one doesn't have the keyword of evenly. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So definitely not a one-step problem. We have to do a couple of things in order to get to this answer. Choice. Okay? So first things first, we got to figure out the total. We don't have a total to work with. If we don't have a total, it's really hard to divide and or subtract. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out her traits. In order to do that, I'm going to take my 10, because there's 10 in each package, and multiply it by 4. So I have my unknown sentence. A lot of kids can set it up, do it in their head, and we know that n is equal to 40. Okay, so Heather has 40 treats altogether that she's going to put into these 3 jars. Okay, so that's my next step. Now I need to divide. So I'm going to take 40, I'm going to split them into 3 jars, and then I'm going to have the quotient. Okay, but remember, we always want to go back to that question, what are we solving for? We're solving for how many treats are left over, not how many treats are going into the jar. So I'm just running out of some space over here. So we have 40 divided by 3. Some of the kids can do it in their head, great, but I still want to see it set up so that way they can go back and look at it. So 3 can go into 4 one time. 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. Put it under subtract. 4 subtracted by 3 is 1. Bring down that 0. So what can I multiply by 3 to get close to 10 without going over? That gets me 3, 6, 9. So 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. Right underneath the 10. Subtract and I get 1. Bring the 1 up the top because that's your remainder. But what's the question asking? This is where students will go through all of these steps, and then because we have these wonderful things over here, they go, oh, 13, oh my goodness, 13's right there, I'm good. But they don't go back to the question. A lot of times if they go back to the question, what am I solving for? How many treats are left over? So is 13 the leftover? No, 13 means 13, 13, and 13. The leftover is the remainder. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be the 1. Okay, so again, if your student's doing one basic step for a word problem, be absolutely sure that it is one step. Oftentimes, they're not. Okay? I hope that helps.